Yo, what's good, everybody, man? Y'all already know it's your boy Tek the motherfucking Jet, and we here live in the gas station, and man, who we got with us today, man?
Dogsta the problem. What go down?
There you go. Okay. So how you been, my man? How you been? It's been a little while since I've seen you. How you been, man?
Been cooling, man. Blessed. I can't complain. Just working.
Amen.
Working till it pay off, man.
Amen. Okay. So I seen you was at the Loud Fest this weekend. So how was that? How was that event?
It was live, man. It was probably my best performance to date, man.
Okay. How many Loud Fest events have you done?
That was the actual, the first actual Loud Fest, but I did perform at the Loud Fest, the Loud Press Junket.
Okay.
But the Loud Fest this year was my first one. It was supposed to have been last year, but I think COVID threw all of that off. So.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they got some more. You plan on doing more things with them, or?
If the finances is right, I mean, if the submission process goes through and they allow me to perform again, then yeah, I jump on.
That's good. Okay. So, what kind of single you been working on? Any singles since the last time I seen you?
I just dropped the first day of the Loud Fest. I dropped my new single called "In the Game," and it's like a football inspired song. You know, comparing my journey in music to a football player.
Yeah, I did see that on Instagram. So, what were you thinking when you was making that? Because I saw that you was already trying to pitch that to the NFL, all that.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to get it. EA Sports.
I hear it. What was you thinking, like on some trying to be on some game arena shit, or was you just making a song and it just happened to go in that mode?
What's crazy is I went to shout out to Mac Capone. He did the beat, and I locked in with Mac Capone. Just tried to kind of get to know each other because I wanted him to do an EP that I had in mind, and I don't think I'm gonna do the EP, but I didn't even have any plans to buy any beats he had that day. So as we chopped it up about what my plan was with the project, I was like, "Oh shit, let me hit some beats you got," and he played that one. I think that was the first beat, and I was like, "Hold on, man." I think I even had him bring it back, and I'm like, "You sitting on this?" He like, "Man, I've been sitting on this beat for a long time," and I'm like, "Ain't nobody buy this beat for me?" I'm like, "Niggas is tripping." So he was like, "Ain't nobody get it." I'm like, "Yeah, let me go ahead and Zelle that money to you right quick." And I was like, "Dawg, this got that EA Madden feel to it." And I ain't just really no Madden player, no big football dude, but I could hear that in the stadium, in the stands, and the crowd just cheering. Or even on the video game, as soon as the game come on, I hear that beat could kick in. So I sat on it for a while, and I'm like, man, I struggled. I won't say I struggled. I was just trying to find the right hook. And I'm like, even if I do something football, I'm not really big on football, but how can I appeal to a football fan, but people that rock with me? And please myself, because I want to please myself whenever I do music. And I listen to it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm in the game, so focused in my lane, mass. And I'm thinking of me going through this music. I've been doing music for a long time, and I'm like, I'm going to compare myself to a football player trying to make it to the goal. You know what I'm saying? And that was the direction I went with it. Hey, when the beat's on, I'm going to throw them cleats on, turn into a beast home. Yeah, you know my G strong. And I'm like, shit. Hey, when the beat's on, Beats by Dre used to have the football commercials. Shit, hey, let me go ahead and somebody get this to Apple so I can go ahead and get this bitch in the Beats commercial. So it was just me thinking, I've done a lot of mixtapes, I've done albums, I've done songs, I've done a lot of music. And I'm like, I've never tried to see the bigger picture as far as placement for a video game. I know it's a lot of money in video game placements. I didn't think about commercials, NFL, high school football teams, literally it's football everywhere. And there's that season for it. So I'm like, if I can just get the right person to hear it, I don't care if it's college football, no matter where. I ran into a guy that told me that he trying to start a football league in Rochelle. I'm like, bro, I got a song that I'm about to release. And I still ain't sent it to him, but I'm going to send it to him. But he was like, look, I'm still trying to put everything together, get all the paperwork filed, this and that. And I'm like, it's a clean song. It's kid-friendly. It's just, it'll give him that motivation if you can allow me to have it played. He's like, man, just send it to me. I'll let me. We'll set something up. So I don't care who it is. Even if you be if you tailgate, play that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the perfect song for it. So right now I'm just trying to still get the song pushing and get it to as many ears as possible.
That's what's up. So how long did it take you to think of that process, or was it just one? Cause I see you say you heard the beat and was like, shit, I gotta fuck with it. Did you?
It took a couple of weeks for me to listen to it because I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. Okay. But I just kept hearing something bigger than what my brain was telling me. I was like, nah, this song, it's got to be something big. And it finally clicked. I think a lot of my music I write in the bathroom. Like, I just go sit on the side of the tub and I have my headphones on. Or I remember the beat in my head. And I think one night I just sat at the tub and I was like, I'm in the game, so focused in my lane. And I just started writing and it probably took me maybe 2 days, like coming back to it, or 2 or 3 days I said it probably put all the wording together that I wanted on the song.
Okay. So, you're from Houston, correct?
Yes, sir.
What part of Houston?
South Side, South Vegas.
Okay. So, as a Houstonian, how'd you feel when the Astros won? Was it just like another day, or was it, because I know you feel me, shit. Certain places, motherfuckers take that shit to heart. And when I was out here, hey, it was some motherfuckers losing their shit. I was like, damn, it's up out this bitch, god.
So honestly, I'm not really a sports dude, which is probably sounds weird, but what's happened, my mom and my siblings was by the crib. And she was like, man, put it on the Astros game. Man, I ain't tripping on, if I'm somewhere in the game, come on, I'm gonna watch it. But I don't just go watch it on my own. And shit, we sat there just cheering them on, like, man, they gonna win and shit. We watched the whole game together, watched them win it, and shit. To me, it was just another day. I mean, until my kids was out of school the next day, everybody canceling school. I'm like, man, I still gotta go to work. Man, damn, it ain't cool. But I did what I had to do. But I mean, it was a good look for the city. It was a good look for the city. And then I got a partner that dropped a video. Like, they worked it out perfectly. They had a baseball kind of inspired song. Well, the video was baseball inspired, and they already had it playing. I think they dropped it that same week, had footage of the Astros in the playoffs in the video. So as soon as Astros won, I was helping them promote that song. I'm like, you know what? It's cool the Astros won, but my partner got a video that goes perfect with this moment right now. I hit that nigga up like, hey, I think the first thing I said was, hey, you need to go ahead and do an Astros version of the song, bro. Like, just get it out there. But, it was a good look for the Astros, but I was more excited for my partner that rap for what he had going on with it.
That's real. Shit. What was the song called?
It's called Flip the Switch by Arbor J and Solo Rocks.
Okay.
Live video. They got a live video for it right now on YouTube, man.
Okay. So with the next 2, 3. So Dogsta the Problem.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you explain your name? How did you come about that name?
I always tell people to be prepared to laugh. So me being a big fan of Snoop Dogg as a kid, like people used to call me Little Snoop because I was a huge fan of Snoop.
Why Snoop? If I could stop you there.
I think what it was I don't know, as a kid, I just 1, 2, 3 until Snoop Dogg. Like just hearing his flow. But I think what really did it was in the What's My Name video when he went from Snoop to a dog in the beginning, and just seeing it, and I'm like, I want to be like him. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, like I remember my mom bought me the Chronic album, the Doggy Style album, and I think it was like Lethal Injection that came out around that time. Like I had all 3 albums for Christmas that year. And like ever since then, I just jammed Snoop. I was a huge fan of Snoop. And Space Jam came out. So they had the Monstars. And I was like, man, I'm the Dogstar. And then I didn't like how Dogstar sounded, so I took the R off. So like for the longest I was Dogsta. Like if you look at my Letterman jacket in high school, it's Dogsta on it. Like I always kept that name and shit. But then MySpace happened. And around that time I was a huge fan of Cassidy. And I ended up finding a dude reached out to me from the UK or somewhere. He was like, man, it's cool. Like my name is Dogsta too. And I'm like, wait. So now my gamer tag on Xbox got to be the real Dogsta. Like I'm naming everything the real Dogsta. And I'm like, I wasn't liking it. I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm a problem out here. And at that time, I was a huge fan of The Hustler versus The Problem by Cassidy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm Dogsta the Problem, man. So I kind of like took the problem from Cassidy. So ever since then, it's just been Dogsta the Problem to separate myself from the other artists in the UK named Dogsta.
So how long have you had your name?
The Dogsta the Problem?
Yeah, Dogsta the Problem.
What was that, like 2005, 2006?
That's a good time.
Yeah.
That's a good time. How long you been rapping?
Seriously? Around that time. Like I've always like written music, didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was right like from elementary, middle school, high school, like everybody do, beating on the table. But I wasn't the kid that rapped along with everybody. I was the beatboxer for people. I was doing the tapping with the pens on the lunch table because I was kind of shy. I didn't want like I would go home and freestyle. I had a fucking mic, connected to it was a BS mic connected to the computer. I do my own little mixtapes, but I always kept it to myself, and I always told myself, if MySpace was popping when I was in school, I probably would have pushed myself harder. But we didn't have nothing but Black Planet when I was in school. And you couldn't put no music on there. You had to put them HTML codes on, whatever them codes was, and get videos alone. But I mean, when MySpace was popping, I was able to kind of create an identity for myself on it. But I feel like if I was in school when that was like, because I would see so many people pop after MySpace came out and SoundCloud. And I'm like, if I would have had that, I'd have had all kind of flyers around the school and everything. But like I said, of course, I went by Dogsta, but the problem didn't come in until I was like a real huge fan of Cassidy's The Hustle versus The Problem.
Okay. So you say so you say now, so you feel that it's easier to get into the music field now, or because I mean that is a thing that a lot of people do say. You feel me? Like nowadays, I mean, it's like you ain't really even gotta try. Some people say it's almost like it's kind of a slap in the face to somebody that really be taking it serious, and then you got other motherfuckers that be like, so what's your intake on it? You feel me? How do you feel on Because right now, like I say, just like you said, like you feel me, niggas got a million outlets in one. So it's kind of make things harder and worse, because shit, like at one point, with all these outlets, if you don't make it, then a nigga be, motherfucker be like, damn, you ain't really do it. But before, at least he was showing you tried. So do you feel it's easier now, or how do you feel about that?
I don't think it's easier and I don't think it's harder, but it depends on what you look at, right? So it's easier to have your music put out there. So back then, you had to depend on getting CDs pressed up. Like, I remember a partner of mine that had a duplicator, and he done let me borrow the 5 CD duplicator, and I'm up all night with blank CDs burning mixtapes. Because we didn't just have the streaming platforms, so you actually had to get mixtapes out there to people, or people that had albums, you had to get distribution, or just be out there and get them pressed up, and you out the trunk with it. So back then, it was kind of easier to be face-to-face with people, and kind of like, whether they bought it or not, people know who you is. Like I always tell people, I remember Riff Raff. I knew Riff Raff before MTV because I remember seeing him at the car show. I remember seeing him in Walmart with a Walmart bag with his CDs and, hey, say to homie, man, I got this CD. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. Not to be mean, but I'm good, bro. But you remember faces, you remember certain people walking around with their CDs, but when it comes to now, it's more accessible to get your music on all digital streaming platforms. Get it on the SoundCloud, Audio Mac, or YouTube. It's just about getting people to gravitate towards you and your music. But nowadays, people ain't concerned with the music. They more concerned with a lot of the antics or the entertainment that you bring, your personality on Instagram, YouTube. So it's like you got to understand the social media and know how to work it and play with that field to get people to understand it and kind of like support your music. So it's like that's why I say it's kind of hard to answer it. Back then, it was harder to kind of get your music everywhere as to where as to today, it's easier to get it everywhere. But to actually connect with people, I think it was just a lot easier to kind of like be face to face back then with people than it is now.
Okay.
Because you can go follow 100 people, but that don't mean all 100 people gonna follow you back. And even if they follow you back, that don't mean that they gonna pay attention to what you got going on, unless you do some stupid shit or do something that's popping. Like if you follow the trends, that's why they say do all the trendy dances and shit on TikTok. And I'm like, nah, that ain't me. But sometimes you gotta kind of fall into it. You know what I mean?
That is true. So that's something you would say you have to do in order to get into certain things that you have to do.
It's certain. I mean, they tell you have to do it, like using hashtags. I hate using hashtags. Or I don't want to sit there and fill up my whole status with 100 hashtags. Because I feel like I've learned that a lot of time when you use a lot of them, you get all on robot accounts. I don't want all on robot accounts DMing me and commenting and, hey man, hey, I got the artwork. I got like, no, I don't be wanting. That's why I hate using hashtags. But for some people it worked, for some people it don't. I tried that and I'm like, that ain't my